Imagine waking up every morning with a strange, burning ache in your stomach. You brush it off as stress, maybe last night's dinner. Now imagine that ache is a ticking time bomb, silently carving a hole in your body. This is the story of Marcus, a 68-year-old New Yorker whose life nearly unraveled because of a danger he never saw coming. Stay with me. This could save your life. The silent warning: Marcus's battle with a hidden killer. Marcus Thompson lived in a cozy Brooklyn brownstone, the kind with creaky floors and memories etched into every wall. At 68, he was a picture of resilience, a retired schoolteacher who spent his days tending to his garden, playing chess in the park, and swapping stories with neighbors. His laugh could fill a room, and his eyes sparkled with the wisdom of a life well lived. But lately, something wasn't right. A gnawing pain in his upper abdomen had started creeping in, especially at night. It wasn't sharp, just a dull burn, like he'd swallowed a hot coal. He chalked it up to aging, maybe too much coffee, or those spicy wings from the corner deli. It'll pass, he told himself, popping an antacid and carrying on. But the pain didn't pass. It lingered like an uninvited guest, showing up between meals. Waking him at 3 a.m., Marcus started losing his appetite, his energy fading. He'd sit at his kitchen table, staring at his uneaten toast, wondering why his body felt so heavy. He didn't know it yet, but inside his stomach, a wound was forming, a wound that could kill. The turning point, a chance encounter. One crisp autumn afternoon, Marcus shuffled to the park for his usual chess match with his old friend Charlie, a 70-year-old retired firefighter with a gravelly voice and a knack for storytelling. Charlie looked different, brighter. Somehow, his cheeks had color, and he moved with a spring Marcus hadn't seen in years. "You look like you won the lottery, man," Marcus teased, setting up the chessboard. Charlie leaned in, his eyes serious. "Not the lottery, Marcus. I dodged a bullet." That's when Charlie shared his story. A year ago, he'd been where Marcus was now, tired, bloated, with a burning pain he ignored for months. He thought it was heartburn, maybe stress from his daughter's wedding. But one night, he woke up vomiting what looked like coffee grounds. His wife rushed him to the ER, where doctors delivered a chilling diagnosis: a bleeding ulcer caused by a sneaky bacterium called Helicobacter pylori. Charlie's ulcer had nearly cost him his life. Marcus froze, his hand hovering over a pawn. "Coffee grounds? I've had that," he admitted, his voice barely a whisper. Charlie's story hit like a freight train. The pain, the fatigue, the nausea. It wasn't just aging. It was a warning. Charlie's revelation. The causes. As the sun dipped behind the park's oak trees, Charlie explained what he'd learned. His ulcer wasn't random. Years of popping ibuprofen for his bad knee had worn down his stomach's protective lining, letting acid eat away at the tissue. "I was my own worst enemy," Charlie said, shaking his head. Add to that the stress of his firefighting days and a habit of late-night whiskey, and his stomach never stood a chance. The H. pylori infection was the final straw, burrowing into his stomach lining like a silent invader. But the real shock? Charlie had no idea he was infected for years. "Most folks don't," he said. "It's a ghost until it's not." Marcus's mind raced. He'd been taking aspirin daily for his arthritis, thinking it was harmless. And stress? Between worrying about his grandkids and the rising cost of everything, he hadn't slept through the night in months. Charlie's words were a mirror, and Marcus didn't like what he saw. But there was hope in Charlie's story, too. After his diagnosis, Charlie followed a strict treatment plan: antibiotics to kill the bacteria, medications to cut stomach acid, and a complete overhaul of his habits. No more painkillers on an empty stomach. No more skipping meals. He even started meditating to ease his stress. Now, he slept like a rock and felt 10 years younger. "You gotta act fast, Marcus," Charlie urged. "This thing doesn't wait." Marcus's wake-up call, seeking help. That night, Marcus couldn't sleep. Charlie's words echoed. It's a ghost until it's not. The next morning, he called his doctor, describing the burning pain, the nausea, the weight he'd lost without trying. The doctor didn't sugarcoat it. "We need to check for an ulcer, Marcus. Don't wait." Within days, Marcus was at the hospital for an endoscopy, a procedure where a tiny camera snaked down his throat to inspect his stomach. He was nervous, but Charlie's story kept him grounded. The results came back. Marcus had a gastric ulcer, and H. pylori was a culprit. The doctor explained that the aspirin had thinned his stomach's defenses, and stress had turned up the acid production, creating a perfect storm. Left untreated, the ulcer could have bled or perforated, spilling stomach contents into his abdomen, a life-threatening emergency. Marcus felt a chill. He'd been inches from disaster, and he hadn't even known it. But the doctor's next words gave him hope. "We caught it in time. Let's fix this." The road to recovery, transformation. Marcus's treatment began immediately. He started a 2-week course of antibiotics to wipe out H. pylori, paired with a proton pump inhibitor to dial down his stomach acid and let the ulcer heal. The doctor also swapped his aspirin for a safer alternative and gave him a stern warning: no more self-medicating. Marcus took it seriously. Inspired by Charlie, he made big changes. He started eating smaller, regular meals, avoiding the spicy foods he loved. He traded late-night coffee for herbal tea and began walking every morning, letting the rhythm of his steps melt his stress. The changes weren't easy. There were days he missed his old routines, but every time the pain eased, he felt a spark of victory. Within weeks, the burning was gone. He slept through the night for the first time in years, waking up with energy he thought he'd lost forever. At their next chess match, Charlie grinned. "Told ya, man. You're back." Marcus laughed, moving his night. For the first time in months, he felt like himself again. This was his moment of triumph. A quiet, powerful payoff after months of fear and pain. If Marcus's story is hitting home, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. You never know who might be ignoring a warning sign. Let's spread the word and save lives together. The bigger lesson, a warning for all. Marcus's story isn't just about one man's fight. It's a wake-up call for anyone who's ever dismissed a stomachache as no big deal. Ulcers are silent predators, often hiding until they strike with devastating force. Every year, thousands face bleeding, perforation, or worse because they waited too long. The scary part? The causes, painkillers, stress, H. pylori, are more common than you think. Marcus learned the hard way that ignoring the signs can cost you everything. But he also learned that hope is real. With early action, the right treatment, and a few brave changes, you can take back your health. Charlie's recovery lit the path, and Marcus followed it. Now, they're both proof that it's never too late to listen to your body. Marcus is back in his garden now, pruning roses and planning his next chess move. But he'll never forget how close he came to losing it all. His story could be yours, or someone you love. If you're feeling that burning pain, don't wait. Call your doctor today. Don't let a silent wound steal your future. And if this video moved you, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, and share it with your friends and family. Let's make sure no one else ignores the warning signs. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong and stay safe.